In today's world, the stock market is one of the most important aspects of our country's economy. Thousands of companies sell stocks, and still more individuals invest their money in the market with the goal of making money. But what are stocks exactly? How do they begin? And how does the stock market work? We'll answer these questions and more in our exclusive mini-series about the secrets of the stock market, how to become an investor. First off, you invest in stocks by buying shares from a stockbroker. Shares are simply pieces of paper that say that you own a part of a company. Brokers are the people who actually handle stock information, buying stocks from companies and selling them to those who want to invest in the market. In the United States, most of this happens within the New York Stock Exchange, which began in 1792 as a small group of companies that agreed to sell shares only amongst themselves. They were first located at 40 Wall Street in New York City, but they later relocated into what is currently the New York Stock Exchange building. The stock system in the US has its origins in the sale of bonds and bank shares during the American Revolution. The government needed money to fund its wartime operations. One method of raising money was by selling bonds, which people bought for a set price, knowing that they could exchange their bonds for profit after a certain period of time. The first banks also started to sell parts of their own companies to people in order to raise money, a system quite similar to what goes on in the stock market today. The Industrial Revolution brought a boom in Wall Street, since everybody wanted a piece of the action. Many stocks that were deemed not good enough for New York Stock Exchange were traded outside of this group and became known as the American Stock Exchange, AMEX. The New York and the American stock exchanges have since been joined, and hundreds of other stock exchanges that all play a part in the economy.
Now that we've learned about the history of the stock market, let's take a look at the actual investment process. Since stocks are constantly changing in price, it can be difficult to decide when, what, and how to invest in the stock market. Some basic guidelines can help you avoid investment blunders, saving you hundreds of dollars. First, know your company. Don't invest in companies you know almost nothing about. Instead, choose companies you're familiar with and that have solid financial backgrounds. Only choose unfamiliar companies if you decide to get to know them first. Don't be lazy and do your research. This brings us to our second point. Have good reasons to invest in stocks. Liking a certain product or service a company offers is not enough. Instead, invest in companies that have good records of high numbers. Read articles on which types of stocks are doing well in current economic situations. Once you have a stock in mind, make sure to check its EPS and PE numbers. The EPS, or earnings per share, shows how profitable a company is. Therefore, the higher the number, the better. The price-to-earnings ratio should also be high, showing stability in a company. If either of these numbers is negative, stay away from the stock. Once you select a well-researched stock and invest in a number of shares that seems comfortable to you, keep an eye on the market. Monitor your stocks constantly. Always remember to buy cheap and sell high to get the maximum amount of money available from your investments. All these things can seem confusing at first, so let's take a look at some examples. Meet Person A, the bad investor. Person A knows next to nothing about stocks and hasn't been keeping up with the latest news in the market. This clueless individual decides to buy shares in GM, seeing that they are so cheap. However, Person A did not realize that GM is in the middle of a bankruptcy. If he had only done his research or looked at the astoundingly negative EPS number, Person A would not be ready to tear his hair out right now. Now let's take a look at the good investor, Person B. Since Person B keeps up with the market, he chooses to invest in Apple, a well-known and profitable company. Before buying shares, Person B checks the Apple EPS and PE numbers, which turn out to be relatively high, reinforcing his initial belief that Apple is a good investment choice. Person B keeps his shares for some time until they grow in price. He then sells his shares and gains more money than he started out with, proving how the stock market can be both safe and profitable.
We have just gone over how and how not to invest in the stock market. Almost since our nation first began, people and companies have been participating in stock exchange. Since then, the market has grown so much that it can be hard to understand exactly how it works. It can be even harder to decide what to invest your money in. Also, remember our 5 simple guidelines. First, know your company. Second, have good reasons to invest in the stock. Third, check the stock's EPS and PE numbers. Fourth, monitor your stocks constantly. And 5, buy cheap and sell high. These basic rules combined with a little common sense will make your stock market experience much easier. However, these are only the beginning. The stock market is much more complex, and it is important to keep this in mind when you first begin your investment journey. Good luck in all your stock market adventures, and make sure to join us next time to learn more about the secret of the stock market.